everyone, it's Charlton. Please subscribe to my channel. Tap the notification bell. I'd appreciate it majorly. So, just continuing to talk about J.J. Vallow, Tylee Ryan, and there's some new developments. I don't know if I should repeat my theory every time I make a video, but as quick as possible, my theory is that some of these people fake their deaths. I really believe that, and I think after looking this, I think you probably can add another one to the three. And I'm way beyond. I don't know. I'm way beyond silly commenters. But whatever, dude. Okay. So the new one quick new development is that reportedly Lori, she was Lori Ryan at one point, and that's who this video is kind of about, Joseph Anthony Ryan and his sister. She spoke with this reporter here from actually this is Salt Lake City, even though it says New York, but Lori Vallow had Tylee Ryan's cell phone in her possession when the authorities served a search warrant to search the home that they were renting in Princeville, Hawaii, and also to search the vehicle that they had, the SUV. I don't know if that was a rental or what, and they took it into, they towed it away, took it into custody, but she had Tylee's cell phone. And it had been reported earlier that she had a friend that I think got a text from Tylee on the 25th of October, and reportedly the friend said that it didn't sound like Tylee Ryan. So I guess, you might conclude that it was probably Lori that was maybe texting her and so forth. I still continue to believe the kids are alive and they're with family members. The one I believe fake their deaths, and I don't know if they're all in one location. Probably not, but anyhow. So that was one development. The other development was this story here, and this woman, Annie Cushing is her name. There's a variety of social media on her. That seems to be her career. Her profession is in search engine optimization. They don't even really call it that anymore. And sort of Google Analytics, And she's been doing that for the better part of her career, as best as I can tell. She has a YouTube page, some other social media pages that I'll just, we'll take a look at just quickly and stuff. So, and believe me, I definitely have many questions, and I'll say it like I did in my previous video, that so far, everybody's giving their version of events, and so far we've heard from a lot of different people, a lot of different family members and so forth, and I haven't heard one person telling the truth. And I could say after, watching this report, my view of that nobody's telling the truth hasn't changed in the least. So, basically she just talks about how when Joseph Ryan met Lori, when they first got married, and they were really in love, and he was over the moon, and she'd never seen him that happy and stuff. I don't know exactly when that was. I think, I want to say 2004 is when he married her, I believe, but they divorced 18 months after Tylee Ryan was born, So, but then she also, in this article, she spoke to this reporter. I'm sure there's a full interview, almost like a Skype, and it's not, everything she says is not necessarily in there. And the other thing is she talks about is his death, okay, Joseph Anthony's death. So let me just play a few clips of her. You'll get, just so you get the idea of her, and kind of go from there. Let's see here. I don't know. NBC. Let's just go do it this way.
They were just madly in love. I had never seen Joe that happy.
Annie recalls her brother Joe Ryan's marriage to Lori Vallow as a joyful start for the couple.
My brother had never been married and he had never had a child, so he was over the moon.
However, Annie says the relationship soured. The couple divorced when Tylee was 18 months old.
she kind of felt like a sister.
Annie says she felt close to Lori until Joe's death in 2018, when she flew to Arizona to be with Tylee.
There was also a lot of tension between Tylee and Lori.
Annie says Lori discouraged Tylee from speaking about her dad.
She would actually say, the world is a better place without Joe Ryan.
Annie sent these texts to her daughter during her visit.
And was just like, I can't wait to get out of here. This place is dark. Family called her Lolo. And I said, I think Lolo might be a sociopath.
She recalls Lori's obsession with end-of-times ideas.
There was this one time where she was talking about it, and she says, sometimes I think it would just be better just to put my kids in a car and go off the side of a cliff.
KSL also uncovered these court documents of Tylee's custody, in which a Texas court ordered Lori to have a psychological evaluation after Lori said that death would be an option before letting Tylee visit her dad. Another concern for Annie. Since Tylee was homeschooled, she doesn't know the exact date of Tylee's disappearance.
We know when JJ was last seen, but nobody seems to know when Tylee was last seen.
Okay, there's a variety of things that, in that interview, and there's stuff about his death, but a couple things that there's a fair amount of similarities to the Kay Vallow Woodcock version, as it relates to her brother, Charles Vallow, that we were sister, she was like a sister to me. That was one. There was something else in there too that was identical to it as well. I'm gonna have to replay it. I'm sorry. But the other thing, one other thing that stands out to me is that I think they married in 2004. They divorced after only after, I don't know how long, but after 18 months after Tylee Ryan was born. I think she married Charles Vallow in 2006. So it was only 2 years. But she says that Lori Vallow and her, Annie Cushing, Joe Anthony Ryan's sister, were like sisters all the way up until 2018. But according to the court documents that they're pointing to, these things about him wanting a mental evaluation of her and her possibly threatening him with death, those would have been during the divorce back in 2006 or whatever. But she remained like sisters with Lori Vallow up until 2018. And there's more, dude. And I mean, there was something else that was identical to Lori to Kay Vallow's.
Part of a blended family.
Yeah, until today, without anyone knowing, Annie Cushing, his sister, says she doesn't want the same fate for his daughter, 17-year-old Tylee Ryan.
They were just madly in love. I had never seen Joe that happy.
Annie recalls her brother Joe Ryan's marriage to Lori Vallow as a joyful start for the couple.
My brother had never been married and he had never had a child, so he was over the moon.
However, Annie says the relationship soured. The couple divorced when Tylee was 18 months old.
She kind of felt like a sister.
Annie says she felt close to Lori until Joe's death in 2018, when she flew to Arizona to be with Tylee.
There was also a lot of tension between Tylee and Lori.
Annie says Lori discouraged Tylee from speaking about her dad.
She would actually say, the world is a better place.
That's it.
Right.
That's the one. I knew I was driving me crazy. That's it. That Kay Vallow said that exact same thing. This story is so similar to Kay Vallow's story. And, if you're going to say that that's just because she's doing it over and over again, I disagree. Okay? I mean, big time, dude. So, but it goes on to talk about his death. Annie Cushing said her brother and Tylee's father, Joseph Ryan, died of an apparent heart attack without anyone knowing. And she doesn't know, she doesn't want the same for her 17-year-old niece. Vallow and Tylee Ryan came from a blended family, and until Sunday, only JJ's relatives had spoken to the media. Cushing said the last time she saw Tylee was in 2018 after Joseph Ryan's death. She said her brother's marriage to Lori Vallow got off to a joyful start. I want to just And she has a post over at her webpage, basically for her business, for what she does in her profession. Google Analytics. It's called Annie-lytics, and we'll take a look at that. That's where these photos come from. So Cushing said it wasn't until her brother's death in late March 2018 that she noticed a drastic change in Lori Vallow. Cushing said Ryan died of an apparent heart attack in late March. His body was found in his apartment after a welfare check when the neighbor's dog detected a strange smell. It's really sad that someone could die and go at least a week without being discovered, Cushing said. Cushing said Vallow was notified of Ryan's passing but didn't tell his family. She only learned of her brother's death 5 weeks later because no one had claimed his body. She said officials ran a background check and called her brother. Cushing said Vallow acted very casual about Ryan's death. That really took me back. I thought you knew and didn't tell me, she said. However, Cushing said Lori asked her to visit Arizona to support Tylee. I decided to put my personal feelings aside about not being told about Joe's death and flew out there hoping to connect with Tylee, Cushing said. When she arrived in Arizona, Cushing said she was shocked to find that Lori Vallow discouraged Tylee from mourning her father's death. It goes on. A couple things, many things, dude. So many things run through my head as I try to process it, So we know that Charles Vallow had a life insurance policy out on him. I think Tammy Daybell did as well. I mean, this is about life insurance to some extent, but that's just one small wrinkle to this whole thing. I don't even know. I tried to make this a second ago, 2 or 3 times. I don't know if I stated my other theory that I believed that these persons that fake their deaths were involved in the massacre in northern Mexico of the LeBaron Langford family, where the women and children, infants were shot and killed and burned alive in some cases. The caravan from Sonora, Mexico, I think is the county. I can't remember the town, to another town in Mexico, southeast of it, where they were supposedly going to a wedding, and they and I had this idea that they were actually transporting drugs, and that because of what you see in the surveillance of the storage unit in Rexburg, Idaho, that Lori Vallow rented, and there's several visits of her to there, along with what we think is Alex Cox and another individual, and they're bringing in and out various items. One of it, which is this giant thing that to me looks like a humongous car seat, not like a baby car seat, but the actual seat, the actual rear seat of a large SUV, probably a Chevy Suburban would be my guess. And then also a large tire goes in and out, which is extremely large, and it looks to be like something for a very, very large SUV. And my idea was that these people, they're Latter-day Saints, fundamentalists, whatever you want to call them, radicalists, and they knew these people, maybe even did business with these people in the past, and knew they'd be transporting drugs, and they basically hijacked them and stole the drugs. Replaced the seat in the caravan in the Chevy Suburban that had the drugs in it with another seat and the tire that they took off the car, because otherwise the authorities would be like, where's the tire? Where's the seat? And they would obviously conclude that there was something fishy going on. There was probably a drug running operation going on, and have to investigate further. So they brought those to basically replace it, and it remains a mystery why they were slaughtered, but not to me. In any event, but life insurance definitely plays as one wrinkle into this. There's a ton of different crimes going on at the same time. It's totally madness, dude. But it doesn't make it not so. But one of the things that was reported, I think, was that that Charles Vallow's life insurance policy wasn't that Lori Vallow wasn't the beneficiary. I don't know who was. I saw somebody in the comments say, who it was. I'm not even going to say that because then, that turns out to be not true. And the person in the comments is totally lying and they're just trying to make you look like a fool. You make one mistake and you're like, then they're innocent. And then none of this is true. It's totally bogus. But, Lori Vallow wasn't the beneficiary. But to the best of my knowledge, JJ Vallow is a beneficiary and he should be receiving, but those would pass on to whoever the parents are and she remains the parent. So, whatever. We don't know who the beneficiary is. I don't know. Is it his sister? I don't know. I don't know. But I wonder, when she went to Arizona in 2018, this sister, if she was a beneficiary. Because actually, Kay Vallow was asked about it in the press conference. She was asked, is Tylee Ryan, is she receiving death benefits from her father, Joseph Anthony Ryan, who just died in late March of 2018. All these things happen all within, a span of less than 2 years, okay? Although there's all these documents and stories of, end of times and Lori Vallow's mental health, dating years back and text messages and so forth, but all the deaths and things and everything happened all clustered at once. So that would be my question was she a beneficiary of a life insurance policy? I think that's a fair question. So, that's another question. I will say she has, and this is her website, okay? And she posted on her blog of her website, she basically, her knowledge, her profession is in, search engine analytics, Google Analytics. She has a YouTube page where she does live streams, educating about this, taking questions on them, basically like online seminars on it, and so forth. I think her two daughters are, have similar backgrounds, even though they may work in different professions today. They at one point worked, in search and data mining or data search, whatever. One of them actually worked for her for a couple years before moving on to Microsoft. That's not insignificant, believe me. But I don't have time to go into everything. So, but she posted this on her the blog version portion of her webpage, and it's basically a chronological, chronology of everything that's happened so far that she put together and put up here on February 9th, the day that story broke, okay? And I don't know. I know I saw over at Web Sleuth there was let's see if I can bring it up. I mean, I used it all the time, dude, and there was so much information, from a particular person that was putting like this unbelievable timeline together, and this is not even that thread. I mean, there's a number of different threads, but it's so exhaustive, more exhaustive than reporters. I would go to it as a reference, and I would understand that it's very possible that some of it's, false, and is intended to deceive you or mislead you or take you in directions that, they don't want you, where they want you to go and not where they want you to go. Whatever, you know what I mean. So, I don't know. I don't know who that person is. I don't know who that person is over at Web Sleuth spending, hours upon hours upon hours putting this information together and putting it up there. Whatever. I'm doing this, so. But she put this on her blog on the 9th, the very same day that she did that interview, that news report. And I will say that there's not a single picture in here of her and Tylee, not one. Other this one. Here we are. We'll just look at him real quick. That's her and her brother. That's her and Lori. This is somebody taking a picture of I guess, I don't even know if that's Tylee in there or whatever, but not a picture of Annie Cushing, Joseph Anthony Ryan's sister and Tylee. But so the other thing was, that definitely she she has a Facebook page for her business and, LinkedIn page and stuff. But her Twitter account has been taken down. Okay, she's taken down her Twitter account. I assume she's deactivated her Facebook page as well, her personal Facebook page, if she ever had one. I would think. If her business is search engine optimization, social media optimization, and Google Analytics, I would assume she had a Facebook page, and she had an active Twitter page up until I don't know when. January 4th is like the last time you can actually see, some of her posts, because you just can go to the cache thing version of it, and see. And that's September 23rd. That's her old account that's now not there anymore with the call signal, Annie Cushing. And it's promoting her, Making Data Sexy. That's her new book. I don't know exactly when that came out, but she's promoting it there. And there's a picture of JJ and Tylee, and this is from September 5th. I don't know that their picture was on her page at September 5th. I do think that these things get a little bit muddled when you're looking at cache things and stuff like that. That's not absolute that they had, because, they weren't even reported missing then, but I don't think the picture was there on September 5th. I'm just illustrating that her Twitter account was active up until, this is probably the most recent one, of January 4th. And I assume probably a little bit beyond that, but that's just the only tweet. That was the last time she tweeted before she took the account down altogether. And I don't know Twitter that well, but I mean, that pretty much means like you've deleted your account, and so whoever's following you, whoever you followed with, whoever I don't know, that stuff's gone. Have tweet replies with, and so on. And, her daughter basically helped her announce this, this thing, about, because it's her cousin, and, and she put this on her Facebook page too, basically saying, kind of getting the word out or something, even though this is now February 9th. And she says, "Hey guys, serious post ahead. As many of you know, Tylee Ryan is my cousin. My mom, Annie Cushing, is Joseph Ryan's sister. Her way of coping with all the craziness is losing herself in research and trying to help reporters find answers. She's taking a break from social media right now. But she pulled together a detailed timeline of events that I've linked to in my bio. Many of my friends have asked me for updates, so this will be the best place to find them at this point. She took a different approach with it than most of the timelines out there, which focus on key events. With this one, she dug through every court document, text transcript, email, etc., to pull out more of the nuanced details of the case. Anyways, it's scannable for people who are more curious, but it has a lot of links to documents for those who want to take a deeper dive into the case and the case cast of characters. I think it's crazy to think that this is happening to my family, but the reality is that it is. Tylee and JJ are most likely no longer with us at this point. We are trying to focus on finding them, catching those responsible for their disappearance, and justice being served. Justice being served, dude. Justice being served. So, dude. That's pretty much the extent of it, okay? You'd have to be a complete moron to buy any of this stuff that's being put out there. I don't. Not for a second, okay? And I do think that this is way bigger than just these two missing kids. And I do think they're alive, at least for the time being, unfortunately. And I hope they remain alive, But so many bad things, I think, have been done that, it's just like, it doesn't matter. So that's kind of scary. It is. anyways, you know, this is Alex Cox, one of like the, you know, the various places where you can search persons' records and stuff. They give you a little bit for free, and they try to get you to buy the service. But his email's there, or a couple of them. One is Homer J. Maximus at yahoo.com. That's his call signal over at Twitter. That's his Twitter account, which I've went over before, with the guy, one of 6 followers who makes aesthetic, you know, heads, you know, to reconstruct skulls and faces for, I don't know, medical offices or whatever, you know. So this bizarre idea I had that they were looking into, you know, some kind of plastic surgery either for corpses or for somebody that is live that would serve as body doubles. That didn't, I mean, that kind of, I thought that was pretty revealing. Anyways, dude. So that's his email, but I thought just for the hell of it, I would send him a little message. Okay? You know, there he is right there. Actually, I'll just... Hi, Alex. Just wondering if you're still alive. If you are, say hi to Joseph and Charles, not Charlton, Charles, and Tammy too. P.S. All that was just a little message from just between us. That the last portion. We'll send it. It's gone. And that's the story there, man. Thanks for watching my videos. Please subscribe to my channel. Give me a like down below. See you in the next video. Later, man.